Kawasaki is unhinged. They make the H2, a supercharged motorcycle that'll do 186 miles an hour. And they also make this, the Z125. The H2 might be the ultimate machine, but this one I'd say is arguably more important because this is the one that changes you, transforms you. Everybody remembers that last moment where they changed from a normal human being into a biker. For me, it was a Kawasaki KX60. My dad gave me the keys to this little scrambler and everything changed. For some of you watching this will be that moment. A massive thank you to GT Superbikes for lending us this bike for this video. If you want to test ride a Kawasaki in Wales, their details are in the description below. I am riding every Kawasaki I can get my hands on in 2026. To answer the question, what is a Kawasaki? And it all starts with this one. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the answer.
Not many people know this, but when Kawasaki built their first motorcycle in 1962, it was a 125. Not a superbike, not a race machine, a 125. The smallest, most basic thing they could make with an engine. 10 years later, they built the Z125, one of the most important motorcycles ever made.
The three Kawasaki Z1s, each of them 542 pounds of absolute power and reliability.
A bike that rewrote what people thought a Japanese motorcycle could be. And they put a Z on the tank. Every Z since carries that name and that DNA. The Z650, the Z900, the ZH2. But yeah, we've also got this one, the Z125.
Okay, so first impressions, and keep in mind, I haven't been on a 125 in a long time. However, this one doesn't feel quite as much of a toy as what I thought it was going to. Obviously, it's a lot lighter than the bikes I've ridden over the last couple of years. There's no getting around that, but this is actually a little bit more grown up than I thought it was going to be. And the reason for that is that it is basically the 250 SL engine, re-sleeved, smaller pistons to make less power for people on the CBT. I think it also shares the frame or the chassis with the 250 SL as well. So it kind of explains that it doesn't feel quite like such a small bike. It feels like a little bit of a bigger bike because it basically is. It sounds a bit better than I thought as well. A one-cylinder engine is never going to have any sort of real character to it. But this sounds fine. This sounds all right. It's actually got some like pops and burbles as well from the exhaust. Now, in true Kawasaki fashion, on a bike like this, you're allowed to have 15 horsepower. No more, 11 kilowatts. So they went with 15 horsepower. It wouldn't be Kawasaki if they did anything less. But now I'm going to really put it through its paces, do an ultimate performance test to see how it's like getting up this beautiful mountain called the Rhigos in South Wales. It's doing it. It's doing it. Fair play. Wait till we get to the steeper bit. My last 125 that I had was a Keyway Superlight. It only had about 9 horsepower, so this has got, you know, an extra 50% over and above that. But my Keyway would have struggled to get up here in the first place. I would have been doing 20, and it would have been going flat out. This handles really well as well. I've just got to get used to the weight difference. But I mean, it corners fantastically. This feels a lot more at home here than I thought it would. It seems silly. This feels a lot more natural than you think. It's really not struggling at all. When I left the house, it was beautiful and sunny. And now, back to the daily grey doom and gloom. I know it's not looking visually impressive probably to you, or I mean, that's why I've come here, so at least you've got something to look at when we're going quite slow. I'm actually really impressed that it's got up this mountain with just absolutely no dramas. I thought this would feel like trying to drag a wet mattress up a spiral staircase, but it's fine. It's fine for this. I can take it over this mountain if I had to commute here or whatever. Absolutely fine. Look at that view. You want to see this in the summertime. This view, and you will see it because we'll be bringing the ZX-10R up here, but wow. That is some view.
I said at the start, this is probably the most important bike Kawasaki makes. And the more I think about it, the more I believe that.
So what does this all tell us about Kawasaki as a brand? What does it mean to be a Kawasaki? I'm not sure yet, but what this bike is telling me, the Z125 isn't just a starter bike, it's the very beginning of a very long game that Kawasaki has been planning for a long time. In 1962, Kawasaki made their first proper motorcycle, and it was a 125. They still make one in 2026, and it's the maximum power that you're allowed to have from a 125. That is the same ethos and philosophy that built the H2, and it starts right down here in the smallest motorcycle, the cheapest motorcycle that they make. Next up is the Ninja 500, which is the bike Kawasaki made for the second you outgrow this one. Because they didn't just make you your first bike, they made you your second one too. Make sure you subscribe for when that video goes live. See you in the next one.